That's going to talk about another match preview. We're playing Halifax tomorrow night at 7:45 at home. It's going to be an interesting game. You know, we had the weekend off, we've been rested. I think the players needed it. I think the club needed it. You know, the staff, the players, they've been working tirelessly. We're going through a bit of a rough phase, so I feel like this game is pretty much perfect to sort of show what we're about and show that we're serious about getting promotion this season.
Looking at the match stats for Tuesday's opponents then, Notts currently sit in 6th place with 38 points, whereas Halifax sit in 13th place with 34 points. Now, Notts have played the fewest games of every team in the league, obviously bar Dover, depending on what happens with them. Notts have only played 22 games, for 4 games in hand over the team above us in Wrexham, games in hand over every team, and even a game in hand over Sutton now. Torquay's lead has completely evaporated, and Saturday's games were actually in Notts' favour. I know Hartlepool got the win and that pushed them further above Notts, but if 47 points is a target we need to hit, it's much better than Torquay gaining a point and building up to 48. So, as soon as one game finishes, you think Notts are out of the race. A couple of weeks go by, a couple of games, and Notts are suddenly back in it. Torquay, league leaders, still only just hanging on by a thread. They don't play in this week's round of fixtures. I think they were due to play Aldershot, and Aldershot obviously still isolating after cancelling against us. Halifax, 3 games unbeaten. That includes 2 very good results. The latest game includes a 2-1 win away at Wealdstone after being behind 1-0. They also drew 1-1 with Hartlepool, which is not an easy thing to do, and they got a 3-2 win away a few weeks ago against Torquay. So very good results in there, coming from behind in the majority of those games. So they're not going to be an easy team to beat, and they've proven, as they did against Torquay, that they can actually do it away from home as well. So they're not just a team that play well at home. 1-1 earlier in the season. I'm sure you'll remember the 90th minute. Knox was keeping it in the corner. It must have been 20 seconds to go. Keeping it in the corner, and for some reason we decided to play it out. It's lobbed over the top, and Turner's burnt for pace by Jamie Allen. Absolutely burnt. A calamitous error. And the game finished 1-1, and obviously that is it was a kick in the teeth. And not, if they'd have just kept the composure, been a bit cleverer, and not played so high as they did, they could have been 2 points higher in the league and a few places above. Final point to make out: Halifax, in all competitions, so FA Trophy, FA Cup included, 1 clean sheet in 21 games. 1 clean sheet in 21. Now, Notts have been struggling to score. If there was a game to turn it around and go and get a few goals, it's this. Yeah, 1 clean sheet in 21. Says it all. There's not much more I can say about that. Now, I've picked 2 players to watch out for. The first I've already mentioned, Jamie Allen. We've seen what he can do. He had that bit of pace. Yes, he was running against Turner, but he had that bit of pace to get through. He had the composure to finish. 4 goals this season for them. So, again, he's going to be looking to strike against arguably the biggest team in the division that everyone wants to score against, Notts. Now, Jack Earing is my other player. He's a midfielder, 22 years old, signed from Bolton. He is their top scorer with 5. Now, in contrast, if you look at, we've got Carl Wotton, 12 goals. There is a big contrast and a big difference between those two in terms of goal scoring. On paper, everything, the stats, Notts look to be clear favourites for this, but we know it won't be as easy as that suggests.
Right then, injury update. We've obviously got McCrory, who's going to be out. You're sort of thinking he's going to be back in the next sort of 4 to 5 weeks. We're hoping now. I feel like he'd be a great player to have back at the moment. Especially saying that he can play centre-back, and we've only got 2 real centre-backs that are fit at the club, as we've obviously got Turner, who's out as well. Another piece of injury news. We've got Brinley, who's out with that groin injury. And Cal Roberts now, there's a bit of a question mark over him because we obviously saw him for a little bit against Stockport. But there's not really been any further news regarding if he's going to be fit for Tuesday night. So hopefully he is, and hopefully he's in the lineup. But as I go into this lineup, I'm just going to assume that he's not fit and ready to go, because I feel like if he was fit and ready to go and he'd be starting the game, we'd know about it. And he's not really got much match fitness, has he? Because he's not had much minutes in the legs. So yeah, I'm going to go on to the starting lineup then. In goal, Slocum, picks himself. Right back, Dion Kelly-Evans. He's been great this season. Fantastic player. I think he'd have benefited from having the weekend off as well, having played so much recently. Centre-backs, not really spoiled for choice, are we? But in saying that, they are fantastic players. And for me, they are the first choice centre-backs anyway. So I'm going to go Rawlinson and Lacey, obviously. Left back, Barnett. Looked a little bit sloppy, I thought, in the last game defensively. attackingly he can offer a lot. Attackingly, if that's a word. Attacking, he can offer a lot. Defensively, I thought he let himself down a little bit. He's going to have known that. He's going to have worked on that, and he's had extra time to work on that. So let's hope we see that. Sitting in front of the back four, then gone for the 4-2-3-1. Gone for Doyle and Reeves. Won't mind seeing Matty Wolf, obviously, but I think with the rest period that we have just had, well, I say rest period, it's not even a full week, is it really? Doyle and Reeves will be ready to go, so they're the two favourites, I think. So yeah, the three attacking players. I've gone for Enzio on the right, Jimmy Knowles on the left, and Eli Sam in the middle. I feel like it was criminal they didn't get played in our last game. They'd have been thriving on confidence after the goal he scored. And I just feel like, in terms of finishing, he's such a great player. Offers a lot. He's very strong. Just needs to work on getting the basics right within a game. Just game management, I think. So, yeah, but that's only going to come from getting game time, and I think he deserves it, So, yeah, that is the three I've gone for. And obviously up top on his own, Wotton. You can't put Effie on over him. The game he played in, he really let us down, giving that set piece away outside the box against Kings Lynn, so disappointment from him. I'm sure he'll want to put it right, but I don't really see, after obviously having a game off, why Wotton wouldn't start this one. So, my score prediction then. Halifax are only about 4 points behind us in the league, so, they're not really that far off us. Yes, they played another game, I think, so I'm going to go for a 1-0 Notts win. I'm hoping we see a better performance. I really am, because of recent they've not been up to scratch, I don't think, up to the high standards that Ardley sets. So, yeah, it should be interesting to see how it pans out. So, yeah, I'll hand over to Tom for his prediction.
Score prediction for this. I'm so confused with score predictions at the minute, Simple ones against Kings Lynn, we should be getting a win. It's not happening. More difficult ones, your Stockport results, that we're getting wins. So I am going to go. I'm going to go for 2-1 to Notts. I think that they've kept one clean sheet in 21 games, as I've already said. Then that trend's going to continue. Some games they're conceding a fair few goals. Notts defensively pretty solid. Other than that, very poor performance at Kings Lynn when we were torn apart. So I'm going to go 2-1. I think Carl Wotton's been in great form. I think he's going to get a double again. I think Carl Wotton is dragging Notts now at the minute, and until Carl Roberts is back, I think Carl Wotton's got to have that on his shoulders, and I think he will do. He's a very, very good goal scorer, as we've seen, scoring a double with his head last time. So 2-1 Notts, and hopefully we start to build some momentum for the rest of the season.